G'day and welcome back to the 40 channel. So installation of a tail shaft, prop shaft, PDO shaft, drive shaft, whatever you want to call it. Now admittedly I just threw it on really quickly just to end the last video and just to get it done and up and posted, and I wasn't really paying a huge amount of attention when I threw it on. But on me, I failed to show you guys how to line up a tail shaft in its correct position. Some call it clocking, some call it positioning, some call it phasing, but let's just get it in the right position and show you guys exactly what we need to do. Now there's a couple of things. You need to make sure you have tail shaft bolts. Now the reason for this is these bolts are manufactured just for a tail shaft. They've got the right high tensile strength, but more importantly they have a nice shoulder on it so that it slips in and just the right amount of thread and you don't have any sloppiness in there. You can't just go buy any old bolt, throw it in there, because the thread will wear away and you're going to get a slop and then you're going to get vibration. The same as if you put your tail shaft in correctly, as I have, you're going to get some vibration up from the rear drive right up through to the motor, and you're going to feel it, and it's not going to be a very enjoyable drive and it's going to wear stuff out. Any type of vibration, it's not good. Anyway, let's get straight into it, work out exactly what we need to do. Right, for a quick example on how to line your tail shaft up, look at both ends. You've got a nice solid part here, which is actually part of the shaft. It's the non-movable part, if you want to call it that. Take your other end. Now you can see why I've had to replace this tail shaft. It's more like a banana. It's more like a banana than a tail shaft. Anyway, good. Anyway, it's good for demonstration purposes. So again, on the main tail shaft, again, our solid part here, which is part of the shaft. So the part that doesn't come apart when you take your uni joints out. You want this piece to line up with this piece. So like that. If this was one of those non-custom banana tail shafts, you would see that this center line goes right through to this center line, and that's how we want to install it. Keep that center line straight with your solid end and your solid end all in line. Simple as that. I think this is pretty important, using some thread locker. Now you've got your spring washer on there. Sometimes I found it without spring washers. A number of times I found these tail shaft bolts or driveline bolts finger tight, or finger loose I should say, being able to undo them. Thread locker, it'll just help hold everything together, as well as that spring washer. You won't have any issues. Just line up. Let's just line up our bolt holes. Right, I went and chucked some Chem Tools thread locker on it, S2EP75. Now the beauty of this one is it's oil tolerant and it's a high hold, so it's going to really hang on to that thread, give us a little bit more protection in the long run. Spring washer. Use a new spring washer. The old spring washers, if they're on there, will be flat and no good. Now to be honest, they say about 40 foot-pound to torque up your bolts, but if you can get a torque wrench onto your bolts, then good luck, go for it. But to be honest, it's pretty difficult to get on there, and you won't be able to get a true torque setting. But with your brand new spring washer and your thread locker, doing it up as tight as you can do it, I'd have to say I'm pretty confident in that. I'm sure I'll get some negative comments about that one, but that's the way we're going to do it here right in the shed, and that's going to get us out of trouble. Alright guys, that's it. Tail shaft is installed, it's all aligned, and we are good to go. Well, we're not quite good to go. We've got a lot more to do on this vehicle before you get to that stage. But anyway, if you want to keep up with it, feel free to subscribe, and until next time, take care of yourselves.